with your palate cleansers. Show me what you got.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into a brand new episode of Audionots, your pop culture palate cleanser. I am Eric Oldboy, live on the Facebooks with MC Ren. What's going on, my man?
What it do? Season 2 finale. Let's go.
Season 2 finale. You know, I thought about, because you're like, we need to do something special for season 2. And you're like, let's go live. And I thought, let's take it up a notch. I'm going to get hammered, start drinking. And I thought, well, that's probably dangerous with it being live. Who knows what I might say? Like, I legitimately considered drinking. But I think if we have a drinking episode, we need to be able to cut it in case we say anything a little too out of pocket.
Cancel.
Kill it. Yeah, I don't want to get
Cancel,
canceled.
old boy.
Don't cancel me, please.
Would if you get canceled? You'd be like, I'm old.
I'm old. That could be my new
old.
sounder. I'm old. So what's going on, man? What have you been up to this weekend?
Dude, it's been so short, man. I've been so busy this weekend. Do a lot of NBA Top Shot watching.
Oh, yeah. You got by any moments once the marketplace opened back up?
No, I feel like everything's like higher now. So I'm just like, you know what? Where's my $5 moments? You know?
Yeah, no, there's no such thing right now, right?
We got too spoiled, man.
It'll be back. It's there's ebbs and flows just like stocks, and so anybody who's just joining Top Shots now, it does go lower than $15 a moment where it's kind of sitting right now. It's really hot right now. But I just saw. Did you see the First Mint? Some other podcast homies. Good job, First Mint. Tweeted that they're releasing Cool Cats #3 tomorrow at noon.
Is that another pack?
Another pack. Yeah.
Damn.
I'm hoping that I'll have a chance since I've been super unlucky so far. So, like, knock on wood.
How much is the pack? Does he say?
I didn't see them tweet that yet, and I didn't see NBA Top Shot say anything about it yet. So this is strictly from the First Mint. Credit where credit is due.
Well, maybe you'll get this one since you didn't get the last one.
I don't think it works that way, but I hope so. Yeah, it would be cool if they said, hey, look at all these people that got in line last time. They're in line again. Let's move them at least to the front of the line. But it doesn't work that way. I think it's literally luck of the draw, quite literally.
Yeah, I feel like if they don't like do anything, like release packs for stuff like that, the market is kind of like stagnant, you know?
Yeah.
So they need to do this to like hype people up again. Because I saw that all the cards we got lower down, like the Scene Stars challenge.
Yeah,
everything went down.
Yeah, no, I watched too because I'm like, how bad should I feel about selling my D Lil for $250, and now it's a little bit lower than that. I looked yesterday and it was $225, and I'm like, okay, so it didn't rise past that moment too much. It got almost to $300. It was just shy, the cheapest version of it, and so I feel pretty good with my sell on that one. But I'm sure they'll all go up once that LeBron challenge kicks in.
Yeah, hopefully, because like at one point it was up to like 3-ish, you know, and you're like, oh damn, you should hold diamond hands, baby. You know,
no, like I'm paper hands, no diamond hands over here. Like for me, it's more fun to do stuff. It's kind of like the way I play fantasy football, and you can tell everybody it's true. Like some people just sit on their team, they don't do anything. I'm constantly dumping guys, adding guys, offering people's trades that they always turn down. I'm always trying to do stuff because I don't like sitting still. It just drives me crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, these are my guy I drafted, okay, and no one else is.
You're the Neil O'Shea of fantasy football.
Yeah. Where's all the tall white guys?
Give me all them tall white guys. Yeah. So once the LeBron challenge comes out, that's when you want to like probably sell your Luka because that's when he'll be at his most. I think that I'm not sure when what was the other card you got? You got
Jason Tatum.
Yeah, Jason Tatum. Is he part of? Do you know? Is he just part of the Giannis challenge, or is he going to be part of the Dame challenge too, or either? Or?
I'm not sure because he is in the Giannis challenge. He's part of the group, so I'm thinking he's part of that one.
Okay, so you just got to keep an eye on the timeline on that, and you got to decide if you're Mr. Diamond Hands, if you're going to wait and how long you're going to wait, or if you're going to try to sell it during the challenge.
Yeah, because I don't know, man. I just want to make some money.
Yeah, in my opinion, if I was you, and I'm not going to obviously do your own thing. I would sell Tatum and keep Luka because I feel like that's the one. If it was going to gain more over time, that would be the one. He's a much, much better player. Tatum's a great player, but Luka is like a future legend.
I know. But then the only thing about Jason is like this is the first, all-star pack.
Oh, that's true.
So
That's true.
it might like be like, this is the very first ever all-star moment, sort of thing.
That's true. No, that's a fair point. It's a fair point. So you got to decide what you're gonna do.
I was watching Luca play. Man, that dude is like so slow, but nobody could stop him.
Yeah, I was I was watching with Kid Danger, and he said the same thing. He's like, "How come no one can stop him? He moves so slow." I go, "He plays like Larry Bird," and he's like, "I've never seen Larry Bird play." I go, "That's how he plays." It reminds me of Larry Bird, Brandon Roy, some of these players, especially some of the more old school ones. Like you see them making their moves, and it's like, how come nobody can stop it? But they're just so decisive and know exactly where they are on the floor, where their defender is, that they don't need to hurry anything, and that's why they're so consistent.
Yeah, because like when he shoots, he's like,
Yeah,
like
yeah, but he doesn't get blocked. I mean, he's pretty amazing. I noticed though he's not that great of a defender. He's a really good offensive player, but not an amazing defender.
Are you saying that he's perfect for the Portland Trailblazers?
I do. Like, I think that we'll see again because they're having another game against them tonight. So the Blazers beat them in the first game of their back-to-back with the Mavs, and they get to play them again tonight. And I don't. If I was betting money, and I'm probably not, I'm gonna stay away from this game. But if I was betting money, I would bet on the Mavericks because it seems unlikely a team of their skill set would lose twice in a row to us. But if they do, it's because they don't have anybody that can defend our backcourt. And if CJ shoots anywhere near what he did last time, we have a legit chance.
Well, it goes to show, like Carlisle and Stats, man, they allow just offense, like screw defense.
Oh, yeah. That's why it's a high scoring game. Yeah. If you're going to make any bet the over. Yeah. They're going to score tons of points.
I wouldn't mind seeing Luka as a starting small forward for the Blazers.
I know everybody's tuning into this live version of the end of season 2, and they're saying, "Oh my God, these guys are like sports talk now, hot sports talk." Normally we're talking about nerdy stuff, and here we are with our hot sports takes.
But we got an hour, so we'll get there.
There's a lot we will get there.
Lots to talk about.
Yeah, right when we jumped onto, I saw LaMelo, possibly rookie of the year, broke his wrist. So. If you're still thinking top shot moments, maybe that means now that Anthony Edwards is going to win Rookie of the Year. And if you can get him on the cheap, it might be worth an investment.
Yeah, because I remember there was a challenge to get Edwards too.
Yeah.
So if you have that challenge, man, that might be if he wins Rookie of the Year.
Could be some serious money.
Yeah,
some serious money.
Johnny Money, man.
Yeah. And before we jump off basketball, I saw LeBron turned his ankle. He's out indefinitely. So he's out for a while with a high ankle sprain. So that helps us, It
doesn't help me though, man. I got him on my fantasy team.
Oh,
dude.
He's
giving me triple doubles every game. Like, no.
It takes him out. It takes him out of the MVP race. Now the MVP race is down to Damian Lillard and Jokic or Joker. And so, yeah, that helps him. It helps us catch up to them because we're about 4 games behind the Lakers. It's all good all around. I mean, it's good it's not a permanent injury, but it'll slow down the Lakers for a hot minute.
Well, MVP list is like Joker and then Lillard. Yeah. So you would think that whoever finished with the best record wins it, maybe. Yeah. It seems like that's how they think sometimes. Because right now, Blazers are right behind Denver.
Yeah, they're there. They're neck and neck. Crazy stuff. So let's move out of sports since that's not what most of our fans come to listen to. And let's jump into the healthy stream. We got to start with Disney, right? So did you watch it? Did you watch The Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
I did.
Nice. What'd you think? What's your first take?
I needed another episode. Like this one's was like it was a setup episode. Kind of like, hey guys, we've been gone for a while. Just welcome back, and let's catch you up on what's going on.
Yeah, and it was this one. If everybody had watched WandaVision, they're like, oh man, they're really out of the box doing stuff with these TV shows. We were brought right back into the box.
Yeah.
So The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is very much in line in tone with all the Captain America movies, the Avengers movies. They kind of pick up right where portions of it left off. And you can see why they originally wanted this to be the first TV show that came out versus WandaVision, because WandaVision, I think, maybe set the bar kind of high. And so now The Falcon and the Winter Soldier almost feels kind of, I don't know, blasé, a little average.
Well, if you imagine this one coming out first, they're like, yeah, this is Marvel, Falcon flying, all sorts of stuff, action
Yeah.
happening. But then one that came out first, one is like black and white. What the hell is this?
Yeah, TV
So
show thing.
yeah, so Winter Soldier, I mean Falcon was is more of like what you expected to see in a Marvel show.
Right. It feels like it's taken right from the movies. It could be an extension of any one of those movies. What did you think of the fact that they gave us Rhodey right away? So we're always excited when we get to see other superheroes show up. And right in the first episode, we got to see War Machine roll out. Don Cheadle, Don Cheadle
Captain
rolls out.
Planet himself.
Yeah, Captain Planet, Rhodey. He rolls out and he's in the very first episode.
Yeah, because it's kind of like, hey, remember he has his own show. This is him.
That's right. Armor Wars is coming out in the future.
So are they gonna like tease him again later on just to segue it out to that show or what?
Yeah, for sure. Disney is experts at making everything kind of tie together and leading to the next thing, giving you a couple steps so you know where you're going. And I really appreciate that. I liked the effects. I thought the effects were super good for a TV show.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked the story. It was a little bit slower, but like you said, it was definitely a setup type episode. I really liked getting to see the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes. We learned when he was kind of the bad version of the Winter Soldier. Yeah. And you see that kind of whole plot line come around and you're like, oh, okay. Now we kind of get why he's kind of sad and depressed beyond Captain being gone.
Yeah. And like for me, the very beginning where you see Falcon flying, man, that whole scene was freaking epic, dude.
Yeah, it was dope. It was really cool.
That's like one of the best flying scene ever. They got like CG him flying. They got like the camera footage on their backs. Like I think there was like I think it looks like they're real like squirrel suits too, right?
Yeah,
they're actually flying.
That's what I like about Marvel is they take this really high-end superhero fantasy, but they tie it into another reality type parts. So there's real things happening because we've all seen those squirrel suit guys fly down mountains. You're like, that's pretty cool. So the fact that the regular guys were doing that and he was doing more of his superhero thing, it holds it to this kind of like real worldness of it. So it makes you more excited for the superhero himself.
Yeah, it's a really cool scene. But then when it first happened, I'm like, this is the dumbest way to try to get away from Falcon, I know. Like, you're just gliding away while he's flying to you. It's like, dude.
It was kind of dumb, and I really didn't understand what was happening. So they maybe you got what was going on better. So they took the soldier guy for what reason? Were they trying to steal him? Like he had schematics or something that they needed. Wow. Why were they even taking that dude? They didn't really tell us.
I don't even know, man. You gotta wait and see.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, without giving too much away, the Falcon saves the day. And then we get introduced into his real life where he goes back home. And I had forgotten that he was one of the ones that got snapped, So we got to realize that his whole family had moved on while he had been gone for the 5 years.
Yeah, it was very interesting how they kind of took the storyline where you get to see their daily lives.
Yeah.
And their superhero life, and how much that affects each other.
And it's one more way that they kind of keep touching base with realness,
Yeah.
So even though he's a superhero, he doesn't have any money. They're not paying enough money for him to help his family maintain their family business, that kind of thing. They go to get a loan, and the bank guy's like, "Oh, cool, it's the Falcon. You're really cool, but I can't give you a loan. You just don't have the credit for it." And he's like, "Wait, is it because we're black?" And they touch on like real things in life. But also you get like the sense of like, okay, what's going to happen that he's in now a financial circumstance that what is that going to affect his judgment with how he does things?
Right. And before, was it just Tony Stark that was giving them money or what,
Yeah, they never were super clear about that. I mean, he worked for the Air Force, and then he basically said it was almost like a volunteer type thing to be a superhero.
Right.
You would think if that was real, every superhero would be a supervillain. Right? Why? Because that's what's good about the boys. With the superheroes and the boys, they're superheroes because all the merch comes to them, all that stuff comes to them. And we've seen in the Marvel world, they have Marvel merch because we've seen parts of that where they're selling the likeness of the superheroes in the actual MCU.
Right.
And so the fact that none of them are getting any of that money back, if there's some little Falcon toy somewhere, the Falcon in the Marvel universe doesn't get any of that money, what's going on?
I don't know, man. What do you call that? Like likeliness?
Yeah, your likeness.
Yeah.
He owns his likeness. And so yeah, it would be interesting if they end up touching on that at all, because that's a big portion of The Boys, where they make a ton of money from the movies and the merch and all those kind of things. And they like being the superheroes because they're getting paid big money.
Yeah, and you have to maintain your image, you know?
Yeah. If I'm the Falcon or any of these guys and I'm not making any money, why wouldn't I rob a bank or just do whatever I want, you know? Because who's going to stop me?
Because he's not good enough, man. He has no powers, dude.
You fly down, snatch someone's purse, and fly away. So yeah, I mean, overall, I thought it was a good setup. It was a little bit slow, but that's not unusual. The first few episodes of WandaVision were even a little bit slow.
Yeah.
So, and we didn't get to see that Bucky Barnes, Falcon kind of dynamic together yet, even though they teased that in the trailer. So we know eventually they kind of team up and work together. And I'm curious to see how long it goes until we get to see them working as a team.
So the show is called The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and that's the finale.
Just them finally getting the team. That's the kind of thing Marvel would totally do. Yeah, no, I liked it. It was pretty good. So over on HBO Max, this is the big one. Zack Snyder's Justice League. 4 hours of television goodness. So give me your thoughts. I know you saw it before I did. I watched it literally yesterday.
Nice.
So yeah, tell me what you're thinking about the 4-hour version of Justice League.
I think for me, I really, really like it.
Yeah.
It's just that it's too goddamn long.
Yeah.
Like the storytelling that Zach was trying to do was really good. And he basically made every character in there matter. And, you know, they had their moments, they have their story arc, their history, you know, because we don't have their single movies.
Right. And so I think that's an issue.
Yeah. So he filled that void, like, you know, Cyborg and stuff like that. And the story was totally different from their first one, too.
It was basically the same broad strokes. But yeah, the telling of it was completely different. The third act was completely different. But otherwise, the main concept was very similar.
Yeah. I think for me, it was like some of the scenes were very unnecessary. Yeah. Like, for example, those Icelandic women singing. Like, you could have cut that off, dude. It was so awkward. You just seeing like the camera comes into their faces, like, and then she has like, then my wife's like, "You're looking at her teeth, huh?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was thinking that Zack Snyder was so hell-bent on showing the fans everything that he filmed that he decided not to edit anything. He's like, I'm going to give them everything because it's all genius and they love me. You shall bathe in my Zack Snyder-ness. And so he did not edit anything out. It was like the whole boat, everything he recorded.
Yeah, it should have been called the Snyder uncut version.
Yeah, right. I think that's really trick that people understand that it is a director's cut and one of the longer director cut movies I've ever seen. I think that for fanboys, so in my opinion, there's 3 type of people who are going to like this movie. There's going to be comic book guy. Comic book guy likes everything. He likes Marvel movies. He likes DC movies. He likes anything with superheroes or maybe based on graphic novels. He's into it. Right.
Okay, right.
Then you got DC guy, DC fan, right? So DC fan wants to watch it because, you know, they're DC fans. This is awesome. Their universe is being ripped from the pages and given to them as a film. Then the third person that's going to like this is Snyder Bro. Snyder Bro is a whole nother level of fandom. So DC fan that's been like QAnon into like Snyderverse. This fan will go on Twitter and tell you how much you suck if you don't give it a perfect 10. This fan is going to like move from bring back the Snyder Cut hashtag to the hashtag give us the Snyderverse, and they're never going to let it go. They're going to be obsessed. They're going to tell you how it's the best superhero movie ever made, and it's like it's the best thing that's ever existed. That's Snyder Bro. And so let me ask you, are you comic guy, DC fan, or Snyder Bro?
I think I'm more of like comic guy, man.
Okay. So as comic guy,
I'm in. Let's
Yeah,
go.
Comic Guy. How does Comic Guy, in your opinion, how many nuts does this bad boy get?
I give it 8.
8. That's pretty good. That's really good. So I think I like it probably a little bit less than you, but I actually liked it a lot. So I think what helps Snyder in this particular instance is the first version of it, Justice League, the Joss Whedon version, was such a pile of trash that anything Snyder did was going to be an improvement.
Yeah.
And it was like drastically improved. So if you've seen the first one, then you've seen this one, you're like, man, this is so much better. I agree with you that he did a good job kind of fleshing out all the characters. But the biggest problem, and it really probably isn't even his fault, the biggest problem is they should do like Marvel does, and they should have been giving us more movies. We should have already seen before this came out a Flash movie. We should have already seen a Cyborg movie. You know, the Aquaman movie, to be fair, came out after Justice League. So we should have seen that ahead of time. He shouldn't have had to give us all their backstory in this movie. You know what I mean? And so it was kind of silly that he had to like give us an hour of backstory on each one of these new dudes that we didn't know yet, you know?
Yeah.
And so that was kind of sucky. What's smart though, if you're a comic book fan and you're not a DC fanboy or Snyder bro, if you're just comic book guy, you can easily watch this in the 6 parts that they've broken up into, because they do do it in 6 different parts. You watch over 6 days and you'd probably love it. I would imagine that if I watched this over 6 days, like if I took a week and I watched it from the beginning of the week to the end of the week, I've been like, this is great. This is one of the best television miniseries I've ever seen. Yeah. Super good, right? I had fatigue. So we ended up watching it in 2 chunks.
Wow.
We watched part 1 through 3 Saturday morning, right? Kid Danger and I. And by the time 3 was over, I was like trying to stay awake and like, and honestly, part 1 through 3 is fairly similar with just more feedback on the characters than the
more
first
scenes.
one. Yeah, just more scenes. And so like I kind of knew the story at this point and I was trying to stay awake. We went and did stuff on Saturday and had a good time, came back, and we watched the last 3 parts, including, which I didn't realize, because I thought, there's only 3 more parts, but there's also a half-hour epilogue, which for a Marvel fanboy is the part that normally comes after the credits. This came before the credits, and it ran for over 30 minutes, and it was weird as hell. So I want to specifically spend a moment on talking about that here in a second. But after watching it, I'm definitely a comic book guy. I've never considered myself a huge DC fan, but I like superheroes. I like Shazam. I like the original Wonder Woman. I like the Christian Bale Batmans. So I do like DC stuff sometimes, but not always. I would give it a solid 7. It's not quite as high as you. It's definitely better than average. I would say the Josh Whedon version was like a 2. It was terrible. It was terrible. But I don't think everybody's like, Zack Snyder's completed the trilogy of 3 perfect movies. This is the best of his 3. By far. Those other 2.
Wait, what did he do? Like Batman versus Superman?
Yeah, he did that one.
That's one.
Yeah, and then
what's the other one?
Maybe just the original Superman movie.
Whatever. Oh yeah, Man of Steel. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the 3. This was by far the best of those 3. So if you look at it as Snyder's trilogy, he finished strong. The first 2 movies were crap too. They're both below average for me personally.
I enjoy Man of Steel. Like I didn't like it.
I didn't really like any of them. I really hated Batman versus Superman. That was terrible.
Who's Martha?
Martha, who are you talking about? So it's just like the Ben Affleck as Batman is terrible, and I hate it. And I know you said that you started to like Ben Affleck as Batman, and so that's cool. But if I'm ranking dudes that have played Batman, he's down at the bottom next to what's his face, blonde-haired guy.
George Clooney.
Oh well, yeah, George Clooney sucks too. There's been a lot. Val Kilmer is who I was thinking.
Val Kilmer. Yeah.
To me, Val Kilmer is the worst Batman, followed by George Clooney, and then Ben Affleck maybe, because I thought Christian Bale was much better. Michael Keaton was much better. I don't know. I just don't buy. For whatever reason, I can't buy Ben Affleck as Batman, and I really hate his Batman voice. I've always kind of hated that Batman always talks like this, you know, as soon as he puts the mask on, like an asshole. Yeah. But like his was almost like, I don't know if he had something going on that sounded almost digital or robotic too. It was definitely.
Well, they explained that. They explained that in Batman vs Superman.
Oh, but that movie sucks. I don't remember. What does he have, like a vocoder or something?
Yeah.
It's stupid.
That way he doesn't have to like try to do the voice while he's fighting. He just talks normal.
I don't have to take lozenges when I'm done kicking the crap out of somebody. I did like, though, the thing I did like about Zack Snyder's Justice League was the uber violence. I like that he's not afraid to make his superheroes kick some ass. Wonder Woman was definitely killing people in the beginning. I'm like, oh, dude. Damn. Yeah. Forget all this nonsense about how they don't kill anybody. Like every superhero in this movie was killing people.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like this Wonder Woman was way better than 1984, dude. Like what happened?
Way better. Way better.
Oh my gosh.
1984 was a huge misstep for the DC universe.
I need the Flash to go back in time and just erase that movie.
It helped watching it with Kid Danger because he's a big Flash fan too. So as comic book guy and not DC fan, I don't know a lot about the Flash specifically, but he watches the TV show religiously and he loves it. And so he told me in the scene where the Flash kind of fixes time a little bit to save the day at the very end, that's going to create another universe or something. And so I think that's what we're seeing in that epilogue is like one of the other universes. Multiverse type thing.
Yeah, it's time travel, man. It's like if you ever go back in time and change something, it's not like Back to the Future, you're creating an alternate timeline, and the issue with that is they're always trying to go back and change it, and you're just creating more and more timelines.
Right. They're basically, the way they're saying it is as soon as you change the timeline, it splits, and so now you've got two timelines. Yeah. And so you fixed the one you're in, but you've left one that's still messed up just as bad. Yeah. And so it makes sense of probably how it would work. And so I really, of all the characters in the movie, I still really liked Wonder Woman, but I loved the Flash. The Flash was so much better. He was still kind of fun and silly, but he wasn't like just a sidekick comic like he was in the Whedon version. And so I would love to see a Flash standalone movie.
I mean, you gotta. If to be fair, the Flash was the main hero of the movie.
You think he was over Cyborg?
Hell yeah, he resurrected Superman, and he saved everybody's butt in the end. Everybody died, dude.
That's true. Yeah. Hey, because I have such an amazing memory. Was the guy that plays Cyborg's dad the same actor as the version of Cyborg's dad in Doom Patrol?
Oh shoot!
I feel like it was. I feel like they used it. Like it's definitely a different Cyborg actor, but I feel like it was the exact same actor in both movies, or in the TV show and this movie.
Yeah,
I feel like it was.
Yeah, I feel like it was too, but I don't want to say it because they're gonna be like, cancel him.
He's wrong. Snyder bro, come at me.
Yeah.
So maybe that means that the Doom Patrol, if it's the same actor playing the same character in both of them, it's a multiverse type situation. Because I feel like DC explains away every weird shit they've ever done with multiverse, and that's kind of where Marvel's going to. So they have that ability to bring back people and do different things.
Yeah, and that's why Flash is like the main.
He's the hero of it all because he can change things up so much.
Now, if you look into the Flashpoint storyline, that's probably one of my favorite storylines that they did. They made like a little animation of it, and basically he goes back in time to save his mom.
Yeah,
and then by saving his mom, that shit just happens. Like Batman dies,
messes other things up.
Yeah, the little kid Batman dies, and his dad becomes the Batman, his mom becomes the Joker and stuff like that. Yeah,
weird.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, no, that's fun. I like it when the writers are able to do stuff like that. And so that's clearly what's happened in the epilogue of Zack Snyder's Justice League. So we get this 30-minute, it doesn't feel like it belongs in the movie at all. I mean, it could have been like some sort of bonus thing that wasn't even attached to they could have made this movie 3.5 hours and gave us that epilogue 2 months from now. And we all been like, whoa, what is this? And it would almost seem cooler. Right. And so, yeah, it was strange. I mean, we got Jared Leto coming back doing his weird being kind of strange and all that kind of stuff. But then it was just like a weird team because they were teamed up together. And then you've got Slade Wilson, wherever they call him, hanging out with them and all sorts of weird things.
Yeah, it's kind of like, wait, is that this new Suicide Squad now or something?
Yeah, what is this? Is this the Dark Avengers or something? The Injustice League?
Yeah, it's basically, Darkseid wins, turns Superman evil, and now it's the enemy of my enemy is my best friend now, sort of thing. So
right.
they have to like
they team up.
Yeah, and fight the big bad, which is Superman.
So if you were a betting man, which I know you are, do you think Zack Snyder gets to make the movie that's hinting at? Or do you think that he's doesn't get to do any of that, and that's the last we'll see of that?
I'm hoping that it's the last that we see, because the storyline that goes beyond that is kind of ridiculous. So
yeah, okay.
And they're saying that the reason why Superman turned was because of Lois dying.
Right. Yep.
And Ben Affleck, there's more to that, right? And turns out, I think in the comics, since when Superman died, Lois and Bruce got a little close to each other.
Oh.
And so when Lois died, she was pregos with Batman's kid.
Shoot, and he gave her the battering. Let's go.
Yeah, dude. And that's what made Superman just F it.
That's crazy. I didn't know any of that. I did hear that Zach also said that in this version of his movie that Lois Lane is pregnant, and he said that she's pregnant in this version too already.
Oh damn! See, I'm telling you, man, they're going that route. That's why when he showed him that drawer, I'm like, that's a pregnancy test.
Yeah. I mean, he confirmed it. Zack Snyder himself confirmed that she is pregnant in this movie. So yeah, I mean, I imagine Snyder Bro and DC fan are absolutely loving this thing. Snyder Bro's giving it a 10, DC fans giving it a 9. Yeah. So it's a good movie. I think most people like it. I think though, if you're not one of those 3 categories, that you're not gonna like it, and I have proof that that's the case. My wife, I've tried over the years to get her into superhero stuff.
Yeah,
and she falls for it if it's more palatable to the average viewer. And that's something Marvel does really well, that I know that some of these hardcore fans are like, oh, they're just appealing to the average fan. But if you can appeal to both sides, it works better, because she watched about 15 minutes of that thing and bailed. She's like, this sucks, and was gone. Yeah. And so I think if you're not one of those 3 category of fan, you're not going to like this movie. And I saw a lot of that on Twitter where people are like, I don't understand the difference. We saw this movie in 2017. Is it just a director's cut? Like, is we talk about this and we're involved in it. We think this is such a huge deal. And it probably is for those 3 types of fans. But for everybody else, which, is the other 95% of the population, they have no idea why they put this movie out again.
So why am I paying money again to watch this movie? I already seen it.
Yeah, so I would be curious to find someone who wasn't into any of it that watched it, what they felt about a 4-hour long movie.
Yeah, I think 4 hours is too long.
Yeah, but if you break it up into the 6 parts, I think it's more palatable to anybody. Anybody can enjoy it at that point.
But then if like HBO gave us the 6-part every week, would you would have liked it more, or would you?
Probably, because we kind of knew what it was. And even though we get mad every week when WandaVision comes out once a week, we talk about it every week. So now they're going to have this crescendo of everybody going, oh, Snyder, and then it's going to taper off every day as it gets past it. Once the hardcore fans have moved on, who's left to watch it? Nobody's talking about it anymore.
Yeah. I think originally it was meant to do that, right? But Snyder's probably like, no, man, I want everybody to watch it.
And that was the only other thing that really bugged me. And I texted you right when I started it. I'm like, how the hell you fix the aspect ratio on this movie? Because I don't know. Are they releasing this in the theaters?
No, it's just HBO Max.
So then it's the most dick move ever. Okay. Because we've all moved on from our square TVs. We've all got these long ass TVs hanging on our wall, sitting on our stands. Nobody has a square TV. And so he still gave it to us in a 4.3 ratio rather than 16:9, which everybody has universally. It would work perfect in the theater or in an IMAX, but it doesn't work at all at home. It drove me nuts for the first whole part. It took me into part 2 before I couldn't focus on these giant black strips going down the side of my TV.
Yeah. Remember, he was gonna release this in 2017. So maybe
they could have, much money and time he took fixing it, he could have not done that. That was a choice.
Yeah, because at the very beginning it says, this is gonna be the ratio because it's Zack Snyder's vision or something like this.
And that's the kind of thing that'll turn off average fan too. So average bro rolls in to watch this thing and they're like, what's wrong with my TV? Why does this look like this?
Yeah, I agree.
So cool. 9 on. Also you got anything else? Another hot take?
Oh no, I mean, just watch it in 6 parts, dude. The movie's too long, man.
Agreed. Watch it in 6 parts.
Or 2 parts.
Yeah, I watched it in 2 parts and I did have a little fatigue at the end of the 3rd part, but I still enjoyed it.
Oh, the last part, the epilogue reminded me of as we were watching. Like, dude, this is like I was telling my wife, this is like Lord of the Rings Part 3, man. It's like it's gonna end. Nope, another scene. It's gonna end. Another scene. Like, when does it end?
You keep thinking it's over, and it's just never over. Because you got that weird end credit too, that from the Josh Whedon version of Lex Luthor for no reason showing up at the end. And like the whole last 45 minutes of the movie was completely purposeless to the plot. It could have just ended when they defeated Darkseid.
Yeah, I think this is like Zack Snyder's resume. He's like, look, I built in all these stuff in this movie. Let me make the other movies, because he wants to make more. He can make the Batman, he can make the Flash, he can make, part 2 of this. Certainly. Right. He wants the Snyderverse, man.
It'll be interesting to see how they treat it if they end up doing that. If they think there's enough real fans that would be into that or not. Because he always kind of goes to the same gimmicks every time. It's like he takes his thing, he films it, and then he films it in like sepia tone. Then he goes over and adds these weird colors. Because I heard already that they're releasing a black and white version of it in a month. Because that's another way he likes to watch it, the way he likes to watch it. And like, it's so about him. He's the Michael Bay of superhero movies. He has one gimmick and he just goes to it over and over again.
For me, just call it good, man. Yeah, like, it was a good movie. Just call it good and just leave it as that.
Yeah, it was a good movie. And if you watch it in the parts, it's the best way to do it. HBO Max also released the final in the biggest trailer yet for the new Godzilla film, Godzilla versus Kong. And I'm pretty excited now because I'm not a huge, I know, right? I am not a big, and I've said it already on this podcast, I'm not a big Godzilla fan or King Kong fan or any of that. And so I've never been super into it. But unless they showed us all the best parts in this trailer, it looks badass. Even I got geeked up. They had like good music going. There was all sorts of stuff happening. I mean, we had literally, like, I don't know if it's the case, but it said the Mecha Godzilla take. And I watched, I didn't really see Mecha Godzilla, but like on their own HBO page was the name of the trailer. And
is that like a tease, or is that like, hey
I
guys,
think so.
There is Mecha in here. Just watch out for it.
Yeah, I think so. And then they were just like battling, and they showed all sorts of fight scenes we hadn't seen before. And this movie looks pretty epic. So hopefully they don't give it to us in 4.3, and I'm going to love it.
It comes out like next week, right?
Yeah, next week. So, I mean, that's what's nice. HBO Max, like I've said before, is honestly becoming my second favorite streaming. We go there a lot.
Yeah.
And so I'm totally down for all these big movies that they're giving us. Even the ones that like maybe aren't my speed, it's still awesome that I get to see them first, at home.
Like Tom and Jerry?
Yeah, like Tom and Jerry. No, I haven't watched that yet.
So I think after Kong, there's another one that's come out that we want to watch. I forget what it was.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. And there's a lot of good movies. And I watched, literally, if they say it was a movie that was supposed to be in the theater or they're playing in the theater at the same time, I'll watch it. Like I watched that other one with Jared Leto, the Little Pieces or whatever it was called. It was pretty decent, weird movie. Over on Netflix. So I finished that Bonding show, and I wanted to give it a full review of both seasons. Oh, yeah. I really like it. So we talked about this last podcast. And for those who don't know, it's basically, it's kind of a double entendre title even. It's a sitcom. It's kind of funny, like an indie comedy. And Bonding is both with the friends of the show kind of bonding with each other, but it also happens to focus on people that do bondage. They're like dominatrix and all this different stuff. And now that I've seen the whole thing, and I feel like they really find their legs in season 2 as far as their comedic timing, and we, as a fan, we get to see the characters and understand them a little bit better. I thought it was tonally not the same story, but tonally it was similar to Sex Education. So that's another movie or TV show that Netflix put out where you think, oh man, Sex Education, that's going to be kind of over the top and dirty. And they have those moments that are really over the top and dirty, but at its heart, it's really sentimental and cute. And so this is the cutest TV show I've ever watched about bondage. It's the only TV show I've ever watched about bondage, but it is so cute and warms your heart. So I highly recommend. The episodes are short. They're only like 22 minutes a piece. If you're completely bored and looking for something to watch, I guarantee it, as long as you're not a big time prude, because they definitely aren't afraid to push the limits a little bit. This show is pretty funny and I recommend it. I give it an 8.
Wow, 8.
Yeah.
Every time you talk about it, all I think about is like happy birthday.
Where he tries to sing happy birthday because he's pee shy. Yeah, they have lots of moments like that. But it's kind of fun to watch these two best friends, their relationship kind of grow and evolve. and then hit this climatic, I don't know, impasse, and then they start to devolve, and you're like, oh, you're like, as a fan, you're like sad. You don't want to see them be mad at each other, but it's so well written that you're like, okay, I get what they're doing. So I do recommend it. Netflix also released their full trailer of The Irregulars. The Irregulars, you'll remember we talked about last episode or the episode before, is the one with the supernatural kids that can see things, and they work for Dr. Holmes looking for Sherlock or something, or Dr. Watson or whatever. It's has Dr. Watson or Sherlock Holmes in it. Some
work
sort
for
of
Dr. Holmes. We're looking for Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, they work for Dr.
Turns
Watson.
out that their boss is who they're looking for.
It was him the whole time. But it looks good. So I'd only seen the teaser, which was like book flipping, like, you know, they just talked about stuff. And then you had said that you saw like some making of kind of snippet
clip. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they have a full trailer, and it looks really good. I'm like, holy crap, I am so into this now. I definitely want to watch it. It looks well made. I like the accents. I like the effects that they had. The characters all seem well developed. So The Irregulars comes out on March 26th. So that's coming up.
Damn, that's so much stuff to watch.
That's this Friday. This Friday.
Yeah, I like how this is our season finale, and then like season 3 starts next week.
Yeah, I know. Season 3 gets to start next week. There's gonna be so many good things to talk about. Yeah, so I'm pumped. I'm ready to see that one. But if you want to see something that looks like absolute hot garbage on Netflix, they released a trailer called Dad, Stop Embarrassing Me. And the only reason I'm bringing this up, or even the only reason I even looked at it, is because it stars the one and only Jamie Foxx. And Jamie Foxx, and maybe I'm the only one, but in my mind, he's still kind of a badass, like, action star, or he's going to be in like an adult funny movie. Like, to me, he's a big star still, like a big star, like a A-list star. And they've got him in this TV show, and I don't know whose idea this was, if it was his idea or if someone, like, he's being blackmailed or what's going on here. But it looks terrible. It looks like one of those TV shows from like the 90s on like ABC, TJIF or something. It's got David Allen Greer plays his dad. Jamie Foxx is the dad of 2 young daughters, and I think maybe he's a single dad or something. And it's just bad sitcom joke after bad sitcom joke. And they just keep going to the fact that he's like super unhip, really uncool. And that seems to be like a running theme of the jokes. Like, oh, you're wearing skinny jeans. Or at one point it's like, you know, those boys, you don't trust them because they're going to be ghost riding their whips. And like, he doesn't understand like slang. And like, just looking at Jamie Foxx, I don't buy it. I'm like, this guy would know what's going on. I don't believe he can be uncool if he tried.
It's probably like part of his contract where, you know, you sign with Netflix, you're supposed to make 4 things, right? And this is part of it.
God, it looks terrible. So I highly don't recommend watching Dad, Stop Embarrassing Me. It looks, I'd say, as bad as that Kevin James thing that I tried to watch, and I got about 10 minutes in and had to turn it off. It looks just god awful.
You see how he was trying to be like Eddie Murphy, where he's like playing all sorts of parts in that show too?
Yeah, you know, because what it was almost like as if they took In Living Color, you know, the old show that him and David Allen Greer used to be on, and they said, let's do it where there's kind of like these weird skitty things and we get to play multiple characters.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a situational, like, multi-camera sitcom with a really bad laugh track. And it's like, what is happening? Yeah, he was playing like the preacher, then he was playing like some old man, and it's like, what is this? Is this just a thing that they do? What's going on here?
Yeah, it makes him look like he's such a bad actor, you know? Like,
yeah, and I stand by the fact that Jamie Foxx is an A-list actor.
I think so too.
When he's in a movie, I get excited about it, but I couldn't believe it. You're like, what is this? This is terrible.
Horrible.
Terrible. It's terrible. So because this is live, if this wasn't live, we would be going to a break right now, and so maybe you'll still add the break in later. I don't know when you put it out on the Spotify.
Yeah.
Okay, so Spotify folk, you're gonna get a break. Everybody else, we're gonna keep going. Need affordable graphic design? VisualAntiDesign.com should be your first stop. High quality work at low prices. Perfect for every need from corporate to personal. Visit VisualAntiDesign.com now and request your free quote. And for a limited time, mention Audionots for 10% off your first project. So, with the power of magic, we're on to tasty trailers. So I had a lot of tasty trailers. There's one good thing about this pandemic is there's a lot of television. You know, there's not a ton of movies, but there is a lot of television. And there's a lot of new streaming channels. I mean, like the Peacock, Paramount Plus, all sorts of weird things that like I don't even have yet. But the Peacock is put out a trailer for a new show called Rutherford Falls. It stars Ed Helms, who I really like. See, now Ed Helms, if he was in a bad sitcom, it would make sense because that's who he is.
Yeah.
You know, both of those guys were in Terrible Bosses or Horrible Bosses. And Ed Helms, I'd say, yeah, that makes sense for him, not Jamie Foxx. But Ed Helms is in a series that centers around the relationship between members of a fictional Native American reservation and the residents of a neighboring small town in upstate New York. It also has the dude from Schitt's Creek. Did you see that in the trailer? It was the boyfriend from Schitt's Creek, the veterinarian. But it looks really cute. Like it said, it was made by the producers of Parks and Rec and some other show that I actually like.
Something good.
Yeah, it was good shows, which makes sense. You wouldn't want to brag about having made bad shows before this one. But it actually looks funny. Like it doesn't have a laugh track, which to me should be nixed from any television show in 2021. I don't know why anybody still does that because I know when to laugh. You don't have to trick me.
You laugh now.
Yeah, and like, every time I hear a laugh track, it takes me out of stuff. And so it actually looks like the way it's filmed. It looks like film. You know, it feels more warm and homey. And so it just looks really funny. It's a sitcom, and he's focused on his family has been around this town for like a bajillion years. They even have a statue of like his great granddad in the middle of the street, which is kind of a funny running gag. And then he's like befriended this Native American lady who's trying to build like this museum for her culture, like a cultural center. But the rest of her people are so worried about this casino because that's where the money's coming in that no one's helping her. And so they have this kind of like looks like an unlikely like team up to kind of try to help each other. And it looks cute. What do you think?
Yeah, like you say, it looks cute. It's kind of like a lot of one-liners that got me, like the one Native American who's like, "That's why we don't trust white people," and stuff like that. Is like, so I think there's gonna be a lot of like cultural jokes and stuff like that.
And if that stuff's done right, it's so good to see. You know, I've been noticing a lot of Native Americans getting their run on TV and movies lately, and I can appreciate that because I feel like I haven't seen a ton of Native American stuff until recently, and I feel like a lot of shows I've been watching have really strong Native American characters that you don't expect. Like I'm watching Resident Alien, that has some really strong Native American characters, like with what clearly is real Native American actors.
Yeah.
And then what was the other show? Oh, The Wilds had a really good, really strong Native American characters and some of the young ladies. And I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. So I like that they're doing it. You just gotta hope that they do it right because you know cancel culture is like they're honed in anytime this kind of stuff happens. So if any one of those fools isn't really Native American, you know, or if Ed Helms makes the wrong kind of joke, it's gonna get shut down real quick.
Yeah. Aren't you proud though? Because you're like, you know,
1/16th, baby.
Yeah, let's go.
I got so many bright lights on me. There's no way anybody would guess that. But here, look at this. This is a Native American nose. I got that from my mom.
That's the 1/16th right there.
Yeah, my great grandma on my mom's side actually lived on a reservation. So
that's
legit.
See, your people's getting the spotlight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's everybody likes that, right? You have to be careful, like I said, with this stuff because I did see on CBS they have this new show coming out about Afghani people, and it's a military guy, and when he comes back, he brings the translator guy that helped him translate when he was in Afghanistan, ends up moving to America, and they're pretty good friends, and so he kind of moves in with them, and it's called like the world according to Al or the United States of Al or something. It looks terrible, but they're getting huge flack. It might get canceled before it gets played, but they've been running the trailer like crazy during March Madness because I've seen it about 25 times already. But people have pointed out the fact that the main guy is not Afghanistan at all.
Ooh, cancel right now.
And the people are like, no, 4 of the 5 actors are Afghani. And we have Afghanistan writers and all this stuff. And they're like, no. So you have to be so careful with these things anymore when you do it. You got to do it right, you know, and there's nothing wrong with people, you know, kind of, you know, calling you on it if you don't do it right.
Yeah, dude. I think people watching this episode are like, cancel them right now. He is not 1/16th.
He doesn't look it at all. It's true, though.
Look at his nose.
I can prove it with my nose. So funny.
Yo, we got a shout out.
Let's hear it.
It says, illegal is a legend.
Oh, that can't be true.
From the name Carrie Booth Bell.
Oh, that's a relative, so it's hardly fair. Thank you very much.
So it's true. I am a legend, I guess.
It's true. Cool. Yeah. Nice. I love it. We need more shout outs like that. My second tasty trailer is also a sitcom. This one's over on TBS, and it's called Chad. Chad has actually been in the works for a long time. It's a show they've been trying to make since like 2016 or something. But it says here it's a bit like Pen 15. Anybody who's watched Pen 15, you know, the one that secretly says penis in the title on Hulu, where the two adult women play junior hires, and it's really pretty funny. This is a bit like that but with also a gender reversal. So you've got an adult woman playing a young male. The comedy finds former SNL cast member Nassim Pedrad starring as a 14-year-old Iranian-American boy beginning his first year of high school. The idea for Chad actually predates Hulu's Pen 15 since it was first developed for Fox back in 2016. So this thing has been in development hell for a while, but it probably a show like Pen 15 helped her sell it eventually. And I like her because anybody who knows her, she was the girlfriend of Winston on New Girl, and she was on Saturday Night Live. And so I'll give it a shot, even though I don't know. It's going to go one way or the other. It's going to either be great or terrible.
I was watching it and I was like, is that really her body? Or did they Captain America her into like some skinny dude's body?
No, I think it's really her. She's a short little thing, and they probably just taped her up and had at it.
It's like her face is like so weird on that. I was like, what happened here? Like, it's weird.
Yeah, and she's totally like, they call her Chad because she's totally playing a Chad. She's like, oh, stupid, you know?
Yeah.
It looks funny. Are you gonna watch that? Would you watch Chad?
I'll probably watch it because I like her as an actress.
Yeah.
And I enjoy her. And my wife really loves Pen 15.
Yeah, and that's a good show.
Yeah. So we'll probably watch it.
It comes out April 6th on TBS. So there you go. Over on HBO, they got a brand new documentary miniseries coming out. It starts tonight. So yeah, it's on tonight. It's called Q, Into the Storm. And so, as a lot of you may or may not know, Q is kind of the really far right group that's a little bit different with some of their opinions and thoughts and where all this information may or may not come from. And so Q is like this secret inside source that supposedly writes all this like hidden agendas of what's happening. And people get all fired up and react and do things based on what Q tells them. And they expect all these different things to happen. You know, there's like this Kabbalah of, you know, elites and celebrities that drink little kids' blood, and it's real weird. It's all sorts of weird. And so that looks pretty interesting. They said on the trailer that they might actually reveal who Q is, but I doubt it. I think that they're just gonna give us a couple choices. But from what I've read in the past about Q, I think that one of them is, of the ones I saw in the trailer, I believe one of those people is Q. And so I'm interested to see if I think that same way when it's over.
Wow. It's that little guy, man, I'm telling you.
Well, the little guy, so I'm not sure what his, he's got some sort of thing going on, but he was the creator of 8chan. But the other guy, the Asian-y looking dude, the second dude that they show, and because they even say, are you trying to reveal who Q is? And they say, yeah, you might be a suspect. That's the guy who I've always thought it was. And he's the 4chan guy. He's the one that started it and started doing all this stuff. And a lot of people believe that he started this because that's where Q kind of first found its legs, was on 4chan.
It's kind of like that one anime, Death Note, you know?
Yeah.
Where he's like L. Who's L? You know? He's Q, dude. Look at his anime Q stuff. He's Q.
Yeah. So I think that I'm really interested to watch this to see if after it's over, I still feel like he's Q, or if they've convinced me it's somebody else.
I'm not Q. I'm L.
Who's the Q, and what kind of weird things are they going to convince people of next? Nobody knows.
It's amazing how much like recent footage they have too on that trailer.
Yeah, I mean, right up to the Capitol riots and everything. So I think that they just wrapped it up and put it on air. So I'm super interested to start watching that. And that, like I said, debuts March 21st, which is today. My last tasty trailer is one I think your wife's gonna like, because she's a Doctor Who fan, correct?
Correct.
All right, so this is interesting. So I guess in 1968, I think this must have been the original Doctor Who. I have no idea when this show actually came out, but they were filming Doctor Who, and over time they had something happen to the film. So the actual you can't watch it anymore, but they still had the audio from it. And so they were able to recover the audio from this, and they were able to clean it up and remaster it. And then they built a cartoon, an animated series around it. So they got this mini series with this animated series of Doctor Who characters. So it says, some of the classic Doctor Who episodes that are famously missing from the BBC archives have been reconstituted in an animated form using the original audio tracks from 1968 when Patrick Troughton portrayed the Doctor. All 6 episodes air back-to-back tonight on BBC America.
That's cool. That's a really cool way to like restore what they can't, you know.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of neat. Like, I'm not a Doctor Who person. What do the Doctor Who people call themselves? There's like a name for those fans.
I know. I just call them hooligans.
Oh, I like that. Let's go with that.
But
so hooligans are gonna like this. Oh, did you just get corrected?
Let me ask her. Hey, what do you, Doctor Who people? What do you call them? Hoovians.
I like hooligans better.
I know, me too, right? Hoovians. Come on, dude. Hooligans are way better.
Yeah. So the Hoovians or hooligans, where we want to call them, should be super excited. I think if you're hardcore, this is pretty neat because you're getting to get old school Doctor Who footage brought back to you in kind of a real interesting way.
Yeah, I watched that trailer. I'm like, what the hell am I watching? Because I don't know anything about Doctor Who, dude.
Yeah, I don't know squat about Doctor Who myself, but I thought there's probably some Doctor Who fans in the listening party that would think this is pretty cool.
Dude, there's so many fans, man. Like you go to Comic-Con, like half the people watch Doctor Who. You're just like, dang, what am I missing, man?
I remember I think there was a whole Big Bang Theory episode about them all going to like a Doctor Who convention. It was pretty funny. That's probably my extent of Doctor Who knowledge is from that. And then I know that he like zips around in like a time traveling phone booth or something.
Yeah, I've only watched one episode. It wasn't even an episode. It was like a special with Matt Smith as Doctor Who. And then his sidekick, whatever she's called, was the Nebula from Avengers.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah, and they go back in time and like they meet Mango and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
Well, there you go. And they've been doing Doctor Who since apparently the 60s. And they're not afraid to they have female Doctor Who's. And I mean, anybody could be the Doctor of the Who's.
Freaking woke, yo.
Dr. Whoville and all the Who's. So, all right, let's move. I feel like it's time to dip our toes in the news jacuzzi. So I've only got a few stories here in the news jacuzzi today because there's just not a lot of interesting news that isn't sad or depressing happening in the world. But I thought this is cool. I have a little bit of a theme to my news stories today, and it's about companies paying us to do fun things to like stay at home.
What? So, sign me up.
Okay, well, listen. Are you willing? There's a company right now. Let me ask you, would you be willing to have them pay you $2,400, but you have to stay away from all your electronics for 24 hours?
Get out of here. Can't do it.
You couldn't do it? Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. Can't do it.
Really? You would turn, like when I read that, I thought, oh, this is so easy. I could do it all day. So you're telling me you couldn't go 24 hours without any of your screens?
Oh, wait, 24 hours?
Yeah, not 24 days or 24 months. Oh. One day, basically, essentially.
It's going to be like, oh, has it been 24 hours? Checks my phone. Oh, I
lost. That's how they get everybody. Every single person loses.
Well, 24 hours probably can't. I'll probably just eat and sleep the whole day.
Well, that would be the trick, right? You'd have to just sleep a lot. Maybe for me personally, I'm trying to think what I would do because, I mean, I'm old. I'm grown up when there wasn't quite as many screens. I'd probably get a stack of graphic novels. And I'm like, this would be a junk food day. I wouldn't worry about my eating, and I would eat and read and sleep. I think I could burn 24 hours doing that easy.
You should like take that time and write your screenplay or something, you know?
But that's on a screen. I'd have to handwrite it. Yeah, you ever see my handwriting? I would have to do it all over again.
They'd be like, what does this
say? I don't even understand. What does this say?
It was genius at that time.
It was so smart, because I'm like hallucinating because I haven't looked at my phone in a few hours. So it says, put the phone away. Put the phone away for 1 hour or board it. Oh, God damn it.
1 hour.
Hold on. Right when I started reading it, a pop-up came up. Freaking internet. This is why we should put it away for 24 hours. Okay, so it says, put the phone away for an hour, or better yet, make it 24 hours. You might just get $2,400 out of it. Reviews.org, a company that tests home services and products, is holding a 24-hour digital detox challenge. They'll pay their chosen challengers over $2,000 to survive a whole day without screens. If you got the desire to ditch your device for the day, but still need to get paid, this is the perfect opportunity for you, the company wrote on its website, where aspiring digital detoxers can go to apply. So I clicked on this and it looks really easy. I'm definitely going to fill it out because it's like 3 questions. And I'm like, it's basically a contest. And so you have to get picked, and they're going to pick, I watched the video on it. They're going to pick one person in the United States, and they're going to pick one person in Australia. So one in the United States, one in Australia. You have to be 18 years or older, and you have to fill out this little form by March 26th. It asks for your name, your last name, and email, and then says, do you reside in the United States? Are you over 18? On a scale of 1 to 10, how addicted to technology are you?
10.
Go ahead. You're 10, okay?
Yeah.
In 100 words or less, you tell us why you're the right person for the digital detox. So then you would have to like convince them, I'm the one because it would change my life probably, or I probably won't make it, but I'm sure willing to try, because they really won't pay you if you don't make it. And then they ask if they have your consent to share it on reviews.org if you get chosen. So that's how easy it is. So
I bet you, man, dude, I bet you they only pick people that are influencers, like for you and me or whatever, we could not do for a day. It's fine. But if like you get like an influencer that has so many followers telling them that I'm gonna stop using for 24 hours and see how it is.
Well, now that you've said that, I'm gonna write that in my review of my 100 words. I'm gonna be like, as a leading podcaster in the industry,
yeah.
It would be hard for me to take 24 hours away from it, but I will once I tell my entire fan base about this challenge. Yeah, there you go. I love it.
Yeah, we need to give them the news.
The news they can use. So my next story is in the same vein. This company is willing to pay you $1,000 for playing cornhole in your own backyard. That sounds easy.
That's you.
I know. That's why this one caught my eye. I love that there's so many of these right now. So it says here that the lawn care company, True Green, is offering $1,000 to a cornhole aficionado who is willing to spend a little bit more time outdoors. We're looking for someone who is willing to play cornhole and tell us about how they're using it to stay connected while staying safe. In a statement in the company's website. During the coronavirus pandemic, more people have been trying to rely on outdoor leisure activities as a way to enjoy some fresh air while maintaining social distancing and also adhering to all the COVID-19 guidelines. So this, like when I read this, because this is another one of those things where you had to write a little bit of a story. This is Kid Danger and I specifically. So our story that will earn us the $1,000, because I'm gonna enter this one too, is when the pandemic first hit, you and I were both put on furlough from the real company we work at. And I was at home and it was nice out. It was like such beautiful weather. And I had these homemade cornhole boards in our garage that we'd made forever ago and used like one time, never used them, never played them. And they just sat there and they gathered dust. So after I'd spent all this time during my first week of furlough, making my yard beautiful, we dragged out these cornhole things and we started playing until we got really good, especially Kid Danger. He would murder me on the cornhole. But that story is what they're looking for. Am I wrong?
No, you gotta add a sob story. Like me and my kid was never close, but even though cornhole is 10 feet apart, even you brought us closer together.
I was always told that I shouldn't cornhole my child, but it changed after this challenge.
So if you do it, you're up 3,400. Let's go.
Yeah, like win them both. Yeah, that's better than stimmy money. Let's go.
And you're saving lives, man. Staying home still.
Yeah, exactly. So what about you? Could you fill out the cornhole one? Just lie, maybe, and convince them that you're into cornhole.
I have to go buy one. I want.
Well, you will. If you win, you'll have $1,000 to go buy a cornhole set.
I'll just go get like one of those little miniature ones for your desk.
Yeah, like I
Set
never
outside.
even went outside. Maybe I can use in the screen one. I'd be like, I stopped using my screens and went outside and played cornhole for 24 hours. Then I jump on the cornhole one, just repeat, copy, paste, same story.
Yeah.
Good to go. My last story is kind of funny to me. So as some of you may or may not know, Florida has lifted all the restrictions. There are no restrictions. COVID doesn't exist in Florida.
There's never any restrictions, man.
If you're looking for a good time, you gotta go to Florida. So Miami Beach is a hot spot for the spring breakers. I don't know if you know this, but in a lot of places, starting on Saturday, it was the beginning of spring break. It was the beginning of spring break for Kid Danger and many more youths out there. Well, Miami Beach has declared a state of emergency and has been shooting pepper balls at spring breakers because they became so overwhelmed with youth coming to party. And the mayor said they weren't interested in social distancing. They weren't interested in wearing masks. They were interested in getting hammered and breathing all over each other, which is what, the youth does. And so they said, okay, listen, if you're going to be like this, we're shutting it all down. So the hotels start closing. They start closing the bars. They put it down at 8 p.m. curfew. So you can't stay out later than 8 p.m. And then, of course, the kids are like, F you, let's go. And the kids all rolled in. They partied anyways. So the police rolled in. They had these guns that shoot these pepper balls that are like the size of baseballs into crowds. And they were just like, it was awesome. So if anybody wants to see that, you could see that on like YouTube.
Dude, that'd be so fun shooting those balls at them.
That would be the best part. Like, yeah, enjoy your spring break.
It's like when you're in like middle school, they're like try and dance with each other. You're too close.
Too close. 6 feet.
Dude, freaking funny.
Yeah, so that must be the least shocking news that I've seen recently, but it was all over all the news today. And like, I don't know how they're going to stop it. The youth is they're over it. They've been trapped for over a year and they're done. They're ready to get their spring break on. So I don't know how you fix this.
Yeah, imagine wearing a mask out on the beach and then you get like a tan over your face. That would be so dumb.
You got mask face. That'd be hilarious. I didn't even think about that.
Maybe it's positive. You just walk around places like mask. I have a mask.
Yeah, I'm always masked at films.
Yeah.
What they should do is rather than shoot them all with pepper spray, is roll in there and start just vaccinating everybody. You guys want some shots? You put up a sign and neon says free shots. They'll all get in line. They don't even know. They just think they're going to do some tequilas.
Shots.
Yeah, you go shots. So I don't know that there's any other solution because these kids are going to be kids and you're not going to be able to stop it. So stick them with needles. That's all you can do.
They need to make a COVID vaccine as a pill, so you just take it like a pill. Oh, here's a blue pill, take it. They're like, oh shit, let's go.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think the people that don't want it because it's a shot. I think they don't believe in vaccines. So, I mean, taking a pill doesn't make it less of a vaccine, I wouldn't think. But yeah, that's it. That's all I had. Unless you had anything else you wanted to touch on.
Yeah, that's good. I thought it's kind of funny how your tasty trailers earlier.
Yeah.
Since Jamie Foxx was a trailer, it didn't even make the tasty trailers.
Well, sometimes, like I said, there's so many things coming out. I have to kind of mix them up. And so I put some of them in with the streaming part and some of it in the tasty trailer. But yeah, Jamie Foxx's trailer sucks so much. It didn't deserve to be tasty. It wasn't tasty at all. It was gross.
So hopefully you make your $3,400, man.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a shot because it's just filling out things on. Maybe as soon as you fill out the one for the screen time, they're like, you lose. You did that on your screen. You should have sent us a letter.
Done.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So, that's it, man. I'm gonna go eat dinner. The wifey's made some homemade pho with short rib beef pho. I'm like,
I'm gonna invite myself over right now.
Yeah, it smells so good. I can smell it right now.
All right, man. So to the viewers that were watching, you're tens and thousands of them.
Tens of thousands. Tens of tens.
Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it.
Thank you. With that, we're out. Everybody have a good one.
Show me what you got.